Cities and regions are key in implementing the EU's ambitious green and digital agenda, whilst ensuring inclusive growth and shared prosperity. During these two last decades, the European Union regions have achieved remarkable convergence. Europeans who joined the EU since 2004 have seen, on average, their GDP per capita increase from 52% of the EU average in 2004 to nearly 80% in 2023, which also translates into an impressive improvement of their living standards. This convergence of EU regions was enabled, among other factors, by the direct support to investment from cohesion policy, as well as their integration into the single market. Thanks to the cumulative impact of cohesion policy funding in 2014-2020 and 2021-2027 programmes, the EU GDP is estimated to be 0.9% higher by 2030. The impact is much stronger in cohesion countries where support is concentrated. In 2030, GDP will be 8% higher in Croatia, 6% higher in Poland and Slovakia, and 5% higher in Lithuania. This is not just an accomplishment of the EU institutions and cohesion policy, it is also the result of the work that has been carried out by the regions themselves, by the Member States, by parliaments pushing for future-oriented policies, by project groups and by stakeholders. Cohesion policy provides a framework that enables the regions to deliver for themselves. Cities have been important actors in this transformation. Nowadays, about 75% of the EU population live in urban areas. Cities are the economic motors of Europe, generating about 85% of GDP and about 75% of employment. It should also be noted that local and regional authorities play an important role in the delivery of the EU's initiatives, as 70% of European legislation needs their intervention to be implemented. Yet, despite the aforementioned positive economic advancement, multiple challenges remain in several sectors, such as post-crisis economic recovery, social exclusion, housing, climate change mitigation and adaptation, environmental degradation, health risks, mobility and demographic change, as well as challenges that pertain to the twin green and digital transitions. National convergence at EU level is not always accompanied by internal convergence between capital regions and the rest of the territory in some countries. This is due to economic dynamism and national public investment in infrastructure, as well as human capital, research and innovation centres being often centralised in the more developed regions, while other regions, especially rural and remote areas, struggle to boost economic activity and face demographic challenges. Furthermore, some regions and territories have fallen into development traps. Their economic growth, employment and productivity have been stagnating for the better part of the last 2 decades. Trapped territories exist at all levels of development, richer and poorer, each of them facing different structural challenges impeding their development. Given internal territorial imbalances, even those cities with the highest GDP often face acute congestion, concentrated pollution, pressure on public services, housing problems and pockets of poverty and social exclusion that are difficult to address. Regions and municipalities share many of the key challenges obstructing innovation and implementation of the digital transformation, whether on infrastructure, smart governance, smart mobility, startup ecosystems, open data, or digital sustainability. This makes them critical actors and interlocutors for accelerating the dissemination and take-up of digital technologies across Europe, as well as fostering digital ecosystems. Lastly, the effects of climate change are exacerbating regional inequalities, notably in rural, coastal, Mediterranean and southeastern EU regions, risking over 1% of GDP annually. Women, children, young and ageing populations in these areas face higher vulnerability to climate-related extreme weather events. Many EU cities are also particularly vulnerable as they act as heat islands. Some suffer from floodings and forest fires. Place-based policies, such as cohesion policy, can help cities and regions to reduce the economic cost of climate change mitigation. Given all these challenges, it is clear that cities and regions need EU support and tailored assistance, for example, through cohesion policy. To succeed with the green and digital change on the ground, the transition has to be fair and engaging for all. This involves putting the quality of life of the citizens first. As presented in the 9th cohesion report, investments are a necessary but not sufficient condition to ensure economic development. Some regions and cities, despite receiving cohesion policy support for many years, still experience weak economic performance. Therefore, to further stimulate regional growth and convergence, there is a need to explore how the link between investments and reforms could be further strengthened to maximise the impact of cohesion policy. Thank you very much for your attention, but now I'm looking forward, of course, to the discussions. Thank you.